that's another thing. Hey, Mackie6, I mean, if you want, no, and if you want any horses or anything like that, I'm gonna be as far as, and I'm sure there are other places you can get them, but I think on a regional basis, those are probably the best place. And so would, and I don't know if Jr. wants them or not. Yeah, well, I'm talking now, in the other side of the fence as far as the government's concerned. Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. And you have to look at that, well, because that's right, and that's what he's saying. Your vet bills but basically your grain is your biggest expense in feeding those horses. And we're coming up, and Princey Six is right, but we came up with that, yeah, like 2 or 3 days ago, and it's very real. And up there, and see, that's another thing, and that's what Donnie has, which is DonnieGay is Rafter G, and he has a considerable amount of land, but I don't know as far as inspecting or anything like that. I don't know. And so, but up here, like if you look at Alaska and I'm talking about the northern quadrant of the globe, that sunlight in the summertime, and that's why they have some enormous crops, and in some of the harvests that you can do there. Yeah, if it is deployable right there, in other words, you have your own. But that's why you need the coverage for herd. So if you're managing a herd up there, you're going to have some kind of reasonable protection for those animals. And what I was saying is, when you look at buffalo herd is like 4,500 a head, right? But you also have to have a high quality feed, a high quality grain, and then also and also if you have regular cows and dairy cows. And I know they're expanding because one of the greatest expenditures that you have from a food source happens to be that transportation cost going to market, and so from farm to table, and so those are some of the things. In order to lower some of those costs, now your biggest expenses that I seen when I was in Washington was that, and I'm talking about Washington State, has to do with their with their housing. The housing up there is just outrageous, and so very similar in Los Angeles, and and there's some of their gas prices just you know out of line with what it should be in the rest of the country, in my opinion. If you come down here and you look at Oklahoma and you look at Texas, and a different tax based structure on their property taxes, yeah, and so you look at those things, and what can I do in order to improve the quality of living, or right, yeah, for the normal person, and that's what I'm saying is, but they have there's certain grocery stores that I really really like, and why I really like them, it has to do with their customer service and how they do it, but there's also a cost association with it, and it is reflective in some of their pricing, that some of their pricing is just off base on what it is that they're charging, and well, and but that doesn't allow you to get ahead, and that's what you're wanting. You're wanting more people to improve more people's quality of life, and so in moving those herds closer to market, I think Smith Brothers is the dairy up there, yeah, and so, but when you look at some of the vitamin A properties and things of that nature, which is predominantly in milk and also in the grain, uh, then well, it's very important. And so, and that's why I sent something also on. If you want to go through some of those things, and I know it's quite extensive the number of hours that I have. But I'm not hiding nothing from nobody, and I do get pissed off at people, and there's a reason why. I usually, I refrain on a lot of things, but I'll put it out there when it's important. And Miss Clarkson, she has a very large range also. Yeah, and she has a lot of land, but I don't know from a usability standpoint how some of it is, some of it isn't. And so it depends on that acreage and how much is utilized. And then you have also where you pay somebody to come in and you harvest that stuff. And it may be a rotational schedule, and you may have from a farming co-op, you have a travel team, and they may go there and do this, and then they may go here and do that, and a rotational on your crops, and to produce the best results for you, so you get the most value out of when you're working that land. And very similar, with the corn, and corn and wheat predominantly what like Mr. Dole's farms do. Well, and that's but that's important, and in some instances, yeah, because the number. I mean, you think about this. You got 44,000 head. That's a lot of grain. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of fertilizer. Reclamation, very important. And that's what I was saying. And Robbie Diane knows all that. I know she knows the entire operation. Oh, and you don't play games with Robbie Diane. No, and I mean that. She put it to you. She comes off, it's all sweet and everything. She's vicious. Yeah, you don't play with her, especially in business. And she's accounting. She knows what she's doing. Yeah.